Apparently you have centuries of experience. Luckily for me, I'm the youngest member of the panel. So when you talk to the older ones, they're bringing more of those many decades. Martin Callingham the most, I guess. So a little bit about me. I spent 25 years in a real job. I worked for Nationwide and Barclays and E.ON. I started off as an analyst, and I ran teams for a very long time, insight teams in the main. The last 10 years or so, I've been in consulting on the dark side, and I currently work for Teradata. And basically what I do is I stick my nose into other people's data and analytics business, which is what I tell my mum. She doesn't know what data and analytics are really, but you know, she gets that I'm nosy. Jan asked me to say a few words, or asked all of us to say a few words about the training that we offer, and I know some of you may have been on that. I suppose my course starts from the premise that analysts are born, not made. We all know what a good piece of analysis looks like, but the question is, how do you measure that, and how do you do it more often? So I focus on the sort of skills, I don't know, life skills really, general skills as much as anything, that analysts need to be successful. We tend to get a lot of, let's call them early career analysts, but I don't think it's, we have had more experienced people along. It's just they've generally learned more of the hard lessons of life. It's structured around the analytic process. We have lots of case study work. We have lots of interaction, which is sometimes easier to achieve. As you know, most analysts are fairly introverted, but we usually get some good debate. We do a bit of storytelling, we do some presenting. So it's generally quite lively. We've been running it for a long time. It evolves over time. But the idea is to shove in the right direction. That's me. You're on. Squires, I guess, next.
I'm a professional, obviously. Martin Callingham.
Oh, right. Hello, everybody. I hope you can hear me all right, as my internet connection is quite poor. Now, my background is for sort of half my working life, I was a physical scientist with test tubes and things, and that was quite fun. And then I went into market research and subsequently data analysis, and I found that was even more fun. Not that I'm very good at adding up or multiplying, I might add. In terms of the course that we run, as I agree with Stuart, that on the whole, the analysts that come to the courses are younger and less experienced, but that's not always the case. There are a reasonable number of experienced analysts that come to the course, and of course they enrich the course by bringing their experience into the group work. On the blurb that was sent around, it's put under me. Could you have saved businesses like Dunlop and Kodak from their demise? And it's a very, very, very interesting question, because there are hundreds and hundreds of huge companies that have just vanished, sort of overnight almost, they vanish. One asks, why could that possibly be so? My answer is, whoever they have or however they go about collecting information to guide them didn't do their job properly. That is the importance of our job, to make quite sure the company is informed appropriately for the now, and even more importantly, the future. Am I coming over?
Yes.
Am I coming? Yeah, okay, right. And it is quite extraordinary. If you take the Kodak example, how could they possibly not know that their business would need to change from film? How could they have not known that? But they didn't. Some of them did, obviously. They didn't. And the example that is here about Dunlop, Dunlop was a huge international tyre company, one of the biggest companies in Britain. And it made a mistake in the 50s about creation of new types of tyre, and they backed the wrong horse. Okay, we all do that sort of stuff, but do we carry on backing the wrong horse, throwing good money after bad decisions? Well, they did, and now they hardly exist as a company at all. And this is Legion, but we can't remember them because they're gone. These great companies are gone. So the heart of the course is really, in my mind, about saving the company. Of course, day to day, we're not doing that, but day to day, we are doing that. We're helping the company to make better quality decisions and not to make silly, stupid, blind decisions, which are unfortunately not so uncommon as one might hope. Now, to do that, I tend to go through a number of processes, one of which is to engage the people, the student group, the participant group that we have, by asking them what they enjoy about their job. And then they all start chatting away and are engaged in the work and are very eloquent on what they enjoy. And there are different characteristics of different aspects of enjoyment that they have. The second, then I ask them, well, what don't you enjoy? And that's even more interesting, because what they don't enjoy is the sort of stuff that would enable them to help the company not go bankrupt. It's the politics, it's the fact that they're not recognized to the degree they feel they should be. It's a sort of personal psychological things. And during the course, I try and persuade them that actually these things they don't like are tremendous fun. They are tremendous fun engaging in persuading people to do things they don't want to do them. And you have analysts have a lot of power, particularly if they are weak, because a weak person is less threatening when they suggest iconoclastic things than a powerful person is. So it's all around the politics of getting more sensibly aligned to the role of the business than just to their fun of, again, each day of solving crossword puzzles and other interesting mathematical problems. So that's the heart of the course. The second thing, I will just say this, is what is a right decision? I get the groups I break them into groups and get them to address decision making, and they come to different decisions. So they have 3 different decisions arriving from this work from the different groups. And I ask the question, who's right and who's wrong? And of course, this provokes lots of chat. And the answer I give to them is, well, how can any one of these groups, the 3 groups, be righter than the other 2? There are many ways of skinning a cat. And I think the idea that there isn't the perfect solution, but there is a jolly good solution, and there are many jolly good solutions, seems to be alien to analytical thinking, who thinks there is a right answer. There are lots of right answers. So I try and get that message over as best as I can. So that's me. That's the course that I've done
Thank
over
you,
the
Martin.
years.
Thank
Too
you.
many, but still.
Martin Squires.
Hi, yes, my name is Martin Squires. I'm currently Director of Advanced Analytics or Data Science by any other name for Pets at Home. So if you're thinking of somebody skinning a cat, please go out and buy one. Good pet food is available from other stores, but ours is very nice and perfectly reasonable. Please buy. Plug for my employer aside, I previously spent a bit of time as a consultant, but I've spent most of the last 20 years doing similar roles, heading up insight and analytics departments for what is now various bits of Walgreens, Boots Alliance, Boots, M&S and HSBC Bank. the HSBC being a couple of building societies as well that have ended up under Santander. So but basically, I've kind of ran analytics teams for probably since about the mid-90s, if I actually do the maths vaguely. My course is aimed at people just at that trigger point of going from being a senior analyst to actually looking after an insight team and managing one for the first time. And it came about through a conversation within Doug that kind of said we'd got a great course on how to be a better analyst. We've got a course on which actually enables you to be a better senior analyst. I personally found the move from analyst to senior analyst I found was quite simple. You just got better projects to do and more exciting stuff to work on. So that was great. I think I was typical of what still happens with a lot of analytical vacancies. If it's going to be internal, promote the best analyst seems to be the standard HR kind of plan. And without a great deal of thought about how to support somebody moving from a senior analyst to a team manager for the first time. And certainly one of the things I found was most of the HR standard training didn't really work for various reasons. And I've kind of learned a few alternatives along the way. So it's about sharing my experience of what I've learned from managing teams and how to make what's often a scary jump, because lots of senior analysts kind of go, I don't want to manage people. So it's trying to make that less scary, trying to make it look like it is still a fun job, even if you don't get to write code all day. And trying to make that move just a little bit easier. The structure of the course is a group exercise at the start of it, which does a thing called Career Anchors, which highlights what it is that drives people's satisfaction in their career. And usually we've been doing it about 10 years and very few analysts actually, or senior analysts actually say managerial is their driver. For most, it's either work-life balance or technical. There's a variety of other drivers, but it isn't managerial, which is what HR often assume. So the rest of the course then goes through a knowledge management or leading knowledge workers model, and then the which gives an alternative to standard HR methods. And then the last part of it is literally a dozen or so things I wish I'd learned. I wish I'd known when I started off managing people for the first time. So it's really a sort of crash course in, right, you've been a great senior analyst, somebody's put you in charge, what the hell do you do next?
Thanks, Martin.